here at Eaglesvale, and outside the headmaster's office. It's a huge campus, 100 acres, and the plaque behind me is one of the dedication emblems. And now behind me, you can see kind of the circle square and the flags. I'm gonna show you around a little bit so you can see. This is a huge campus. It just stretches in every direction. Buildings and facilities. Here with Mr. Dennis Anderson, who is the headmaster of Eaglesvale School, which is a strong, caring Christian co-educational school here in Harare. But you grew up in what was Rhodesia in those days, and you're 70 years old now, and we go back to 1985, 86. Tell me what it was like growing up in this country back then.
Yeah, I think it was a wonderful experience as a child. We had great schools. We were closely family knit communities. I can remember riding to school, my first school at 6 years old. I was followed by the person who used to work for my mom and dad on his bicycle.
Wow.
And basically from then, that's how we used to get around mainly. Occasionally my mom and dad would drop me at school, but for the most part it was riding to school. My sister and brother the same, and during the holidays it was great freedom to be able to get on your bike, often at 6 o'clock in the morning, go and visit your friends and come back at 6 o'clock at night. And in those days there were no cell phones, so our parents weren't able to keep in touch with us. Yeah,
that's amazing. Now, were you in the capital, Salisbury, or you were in another city?
No, I grew up in Bulawayo, which was the second largest city in Rhodesia at the time, and that's where the first railway came through into Zimbabwe from South Africa, and then the railway line went up to Victoria Falls. So yeah, that was quite an experience. The railway at that time during my growing up years was rated one of the best railway systems in the world.
Wow.
I think. Yeah.
That's amazing. And your mother and your father, were they born in Rhodesia or did they come from somewhere?
Yeah, so my mother and father were both born in Bulawayo as well.
Wow.
My father was his mother, I think, was also born in Bulawayo. His grandfather was a guy by the name of Kirschbaum, so he was of Jewish descent, but he married a German descent in South Africa. And then he was kind of a bit down and out, and he then approached one of the originators of what was called the Pioneer Column, so Oxwagon trek up to Rhodesia from South Africa, and he settled in the Fig Tree area, which is quite close to Bulawayo. It's on the southwestern border of Zimbabwe, and he farmed there, and also did quite a bit of prospecting, gold prospecting, and also trapped rhinos for zoos overseas. So he was quite a character. That was good.
How did you come to faith then?
So I went to a university in South Africa at the University of Cape Town, and was in residence at the UCT, and I think it was in my third year that I came to faith, just from a sense of just there was something more, and I had this great sense of loneliness and emptiness, and came to faith just basically in my room.
Wow.
And then connected with other Christian guys and girls on campus, and they used to have a YMCA on campus,
Okay.
where we would meet generally on a Sunday evening and have they used to call it coffee squash, because we all used to squash into this room, and there'd be somebody giving a talk. So that was I had gotten married, and I was teaching at a school in Bulawayo, a senior school in Bulawayo, and then my wife and I decided to move into full-time ministry. So we went to pastor a church in the middle of Zimbabwe, which is in a town called Kwekwe. And
wow.
my first wife's mother and father were missionaries and had set up a Bible school in a township called Chitungwiza here in Harare. And Mark, you know that because you taught at that Bible school. And then unfortunately my first wife, when we had moved to Matari and took over a church there, but unfortunately she passed from cancer, and so we moved, myself and my children moved here back to Harare, and that's where I first came into contact with Eaglesvale. I taught here for a year in 1989. Grade 7, and they move into senior school, and we in the senior school operate the Cambridge curriculum from Cambridge University in the United Kingdom. That's a very well-known curriculum, and so they start their year here in senior school when they are 13 and run up until when they write their A level when they are 18, and so that program has been very successful for us, and we get a lot of help from Cambridge running that, are really pushing that and trying to help our teachers address their subjects from a biblical worldview, and that's still ongoing, but we have some really dedicated teachers within our teaching community, and we obviously employ Christian teachers to create a school, and a lot of kids are going to those kinds of schools. Our school with the Cambridge system, so we run what is known, the children write at age 16 what is known as the International General Certificate of Secondary Education, known as IGCSE, through Cambridge, and then at year 18 they write the A-level examination, and that examination equips them to be able to apply for universities around the world, from South Africa
Go to Oxford or Cambridge.
Yes, you can. Yes,
Top
and
schools.
to Yale and Harvard if your results are good enough. Yeah.
It's amazing that the standard is still being sought to maintain, and historically strong education here. And I know the Zimbabwean people want their children to be educated. They know kind of that's the way forward for success for their families. And it's exciting, that property on the Borrowdale Road, and you've kind of come in and been the headmaster for how many years now?
So I've been headmaster for 9 full years. I'll be retiring at the end of this term, at the end of April. So I've had the privilege of being involved in the planning of the development of that land, working with the architect who was appointed. So we've I think developed a plan that if it follows through will take us through for the next 50 years. So we've been very conscious of things like sustainable use of water, and
it's been a joy, and all the years that we go back, what memories, and you've been so fruitful here and a blessing to so many. Thank you for the time,
Thank you so
opportunity,
much,
and to give folks a full-rounded picture of education in Zimbabwe. I think this gives you a little glimpse and window into that. And